Let's see if we have Transport Economist Joachim Vermooten with us. Mr. Vermooten, a very good evening to you.
Good evening and good evening, viewers.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm not sure if you heard from a government what they were saying, that they still own their golden share. That is the most important aspect of it. This is why this is a strategic partnership. They wanted a majority shareholder that could raise money in the markets. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, there's a number of important pointers. The first one is that it's the first time since 2004 that government has made a decision to privatize the major SAA. Prior to that, that was just not on the table. The second issue is that very commercially minded people will be involved on a partner level instead of an employee level, in the likes of Mr. Gideon Novik, who is well known in the aviation industry and has successfully launched Kalula initially and also Lift later together with his partners. And then in addition, Mr. Tsepo Mashluli, who's aware of investment decisions, and we would certainly assure that investments are made on a commercial basis instead of a political basis, as we've seen since 2012 onwards. So this is the time to actually hope that the commercial approach will actually work, and that the fact that commercially minded people at the shareholder level or on a partner level would actually be able and allowed by government to actually perform how a commercial enterprise normally performs.
Is it broad-based enough of a deal as the government has been calling for?
Well, I don't know what's behind it. I think there's all kinds of pension fund money behind it, probably some of the government civil servants pension funds. I don't know whether that qualifies under a broad base, but ultimately you need people to drive it, and the decision makers need to be there with a commercial approach instead of a political approach. And that seems to be the case now.
Okay, so it's interesting that you should say that, because in the past there were talks that SAA staff were going to regroup and acquire a stake as a strategic partner in the airline. Why do you think that didn't happen? And would that have been preferable to bring about exactly what you're saying, limit what you say is political interference?
Well, I don't think that is excluded. You know, there's the whole structure of how the organization will be structured still remains to be seen. And I think that's a process that is only starting today. So it's not a done deal. It's the actual start of the negotiations within the parameters set by government of accepting a majority stake partner. So I think many things have to be done. The organization structure only follows the actual structure that is necessary for the operation to continue. And then negotiations will take place as is required by our laws and applicable regulations. The crucial thing was that the partners would have the resources to actually make it work. You know, many people can contribute, but in this case, it's absolutely necessary that the management abilities has to accompany a large amount of money.
So this is what the point I was coming to. We believe that Takatso has committed something like 3 billion rand to fund the airline. Where do you think they're going to raise more money to finance this deal? And also, how much is the total value of the actual deal?
Well, the government has made available 2 billion in the business rescue plan for the restart of SAA. I don't know whether that's still available, but that together with this 3 brings it up to 5 billion. So at least it can restart, and but it should restart within the ambit of expectations of startup losses, and not to go too big, because you know, if you're small enough, you can actually weather the storm, but you don't need to go too big. Otherwise, your operational cost will just exceed market demand. And that has been the difficulty up to now. So I think with Gideon's input, I expect that it would be a normal conventional decision on the scale of operations to fit the market demand that there is at the moment.
Transport Economist Joachim Vermooten.